Hello everyone, and welcome back to Excel VBA tutorial series. Today's chapter will be about how do we refer to cells in an Excel workbook through VBA. So without wasting any time, let's jump down to the Developers tab and go down to Visual Basic. So this is a really interesting topic because honestly there are many ways as to how you could refer to a cell, but it all depends on your requirements. Sorry, I've got a bad throat. Yep. So to start off with, the most basic way to refer to a cell would be writing range, the column, which for now we are taking as D, and the row, which is number 10. So right here is where we will paste the value as 10. So if I just run this, you can see we have the outcome right here. Similarly, we could also write this referring specifically to the sheet on the active workbook. So for example, I could also write Worksheets tutorial dot range d10 dot value equal to 10. So even this would give me 10 right here. Similarly, I could refer to an active workbook dot sheets tutorial dot range dot d10 dot value equal to 10, and similarly if you run it, even this would give me the same outcome. We could also refer to a workbook using this workbook dot sheets tutorial dot range d10 dot value equal to 10, which will again give us the same outcome. So you may want to use something like range d10 dot value when you're absolutely certain that you will be on the same sheet, because if you are on a different sheet, it is going to paste that value on the other sheet, which may result in a lot of errors. Something like Worksheets tutorial will specify it should only be this sheet where you should actually put the value, but at the same time the cons to it would be if you are on a different sheet. As you can see, the pros to it is if you're on a different sheet, yep, it would paste the value for you in tutorial. Now if you would have been on a different workbook, then you would have had an error. So to avoid that, you may want to use something as active workbook dot sheets, which means in whatever workbook that is open, dot sheets tutorial dot range d10 dot value should be 10. Now if your active workbook is something else than the workbook that has your sheet called tutorial, you may want to use something called as this workbook dot sheets, which means the workbook where the macro is running from. In that workbook, the sheet tutorial dot range d10 dot value is 10, which would result in a more precise outcome. Now this was referring to cells from a range perspective. What if we have to refer it from a cell perspective? So let's use the most systematic solution, which is this workbook dot sheets tutorial. Instead of range, we will write cells. Now when you write cells, you open bracket. In cell, the rule is the row comes first, then comes the column. So let's take an example of D10. The row would be number 10, so you would write 10 comma the column. The column, unlike range, will not be alphabetically, but it will be numerically. So A, B, C, D. So fourth column from left is what we are looking at. So we would write this workbook dot sheets tutorial dot cells row, which is 10, the column, which is number 4 from left, dot value is equal to 10, which would again give us the same results. Now if you had to refer to a workbook specifically, for example if you want to save data in some other workbook, you may want to refer to the workbook using the name of the workbook. So this workbook, for example Workbooks Excel tutorial dot sheets tutorial dot cells, the same, row number 10, column number 4, dot value equal to 10. This is the best way to refer to cells using Excel VBA.